Hi friends, this is E, the empty nester. It looks like it's that time again to start seeds for the spring. It's like less than a month away is spring. It's hard to believe, but for my area it's not till April 15th and past that our last spring frost date happens. But right now is the time to start all the cold crop, broccoli and cauliflower and things like that. What I normally would do if I were still living in St. Louis, I could use these, just regular starting things and put a little bit of soil in them. Let's see if I can. And then plant my seeds in there and then put them in a tray, and I could just put a black plastic trash bag over them, go downstairs and set this up on top of the heat vent, not heat vent, the ductwork, and within days these things would be monstrous growing out of the carton. Down here with the electric heat, they're like space heaters and baseboard heaters. It zaps all the humidity, or not all, a lot of the humidity. Like right now it's 72 degrees and 31% humidity. Let's see if you can see it. Okay. But that dries everything out, and what I'm finding is like the cocoa core, using a small container like this. These are onions that I've already started. They're just green onions, but I constantly have to keep up on them, even though I've got sponge underneath here. With this little bit of amount of soil and cocoa peat, or cocoa core, they dry out really fast, and I'm going to have to transplant them really soon into, possibly cups. I've had the most success with little cups like this, where I put a little bit of the cotton batting or polyester batting in the bottom, and then fill it up with potting soil, which is basically vermiculite or perlite mixed with what's it called, peat moss. And that usually did the job for me in the past, and that's basically what I'm going to do now with a little, mixture like this. A lot of people decide, they try it once and decide that they can't garden, that things just aren't working for them. They don't know how to garden, and I don't have a green thumb. I actually have a wet finger, because of the soil outside and so much rain here in Missouri. My yard can flash flood in no time, so I like to keep water flowing, in the house. This is where I use I need water methods. So I take the cotton batting. This year, instead of these that are, they can barely make it a couple seasons, I got a commercial growing tray, and this holds 162 plants, and it's 1.75 inches square, and I've added the cotton batting to it. All I've done is, let me pull this out. See the hole? I took a little bit of cotton, put it in here about halfway, and then reach under and pull it out. And that turns this tray into a self-watering by putting it in one of these trays here at the base. Put all the water in here, and then put this in here, and then put a humidity dome on it until they start sprouting. And unless the seed calls for direct light, I don't put them in direct light, where the tomatoes will need more light, and grow light closer or in the window closer to it. But I'll give you an update in a few days when they start sprouting. But basically all you're doing is, pretty much everyone knows how to fill up the trays with soil, and then you poke it down just a little bit and add your seeds, and then add a little bit of dirt to the top of it, the seeds, you know, the depth is maybe twice the size of the seed, and a lot of the seeds are extremely small. Just a second, let me grab my seeds. I left them over there. Okay, it's kind of hard to have a planting video without the seeds to plant, but what I've done is these are my warm weather crops and these are my cold weather crops, and I'm just going to take the broccoli, the kale, let's see, some more onions, and divide this container up. What you actually want to do is think, let me get my glasses on for a second. These are hardy kiwi plants, or seeds, and this is a big risk. I either may or may not get any, and I'll put them in their own container. And then the onions, these are Tokyo onions, I'll put them in their own container. Loofah, more onions. And then beets, spinach, more onions, radish, mustard greens, the gourd, more radishes, Swiss chard, and nasturtium. You know, nasturtiums are flowers, and they actually are a companion plant. I plant them all over the place. Let me see if I've got a picture in here. They're edible. You know, the leaves and all that tastes kind of peppery, like a radish, and they come in different colors. But I use them basically to ward off pests from the tomatoes and other things, and then I plant marigolds around a lot of things to ward off insects and plants. This year I'm gonna have to build Fort Knox to, you know, put umbrellas over my plants and fences around, and you know, the plot to keep them from floating away or walking away or being eaten by critters. But I'm determined this year I'm gonna have a garden, and I hope you know, follow my progress. You know, my channel's not 100% gardening, but it's part of being self-sustainable. You know, basically you have to grow your own food, and you don't have to, but you know, it's best that you can do everything you can to support yourself. What I'm going to do now on this tray, the side over here has, let's see, it's this side, it has the writing on it, and I'm going to use this row as number 1 and go on down from there. And whenever I plant a row of seed, I'm just going to do row 1 and then write down what it is I planted in there. Row 2, whatever, row 3, row 4, row 5. You know, I could get garden markers, but I don't, what do you call it, need to add any more expense, you know, to gardening. And I like to try to save my own seed from everything that I grow too. Another thing that I need to do is figure out, like, there's some math involved too, as in, let's take broccoli. How many times a month do you want to eat broccoli? And figure twice a month times 12 months, that's 24 broccoli plants. So I would plant, you know, 24, and then I've got a number of different varieties, so I would just mix them up and hope I pick the best one that I like, you know, but you can never have too much broccoli. And then another thing too, I put some soil in here already, but it's best to go ahead and, or I found it best for me to go ahead and take some water that's room temperature and pour it into this and mix it around. That way the soil's pre-moistened. There's several things that cause failure to grow, and it's like us, you know, we need all the elements, and that's wind, fire, air, and water. And fire means heat. You know, if the temperature isn't at least 60, 70 above, you know, a lot of seeds won't sprout. Tomatoes like it even warmer, but since this is a cool weather crop, you know, 40, 50, and 60, these guys will sprout. And I've already got a number of things sprouted. You know, like I just showed you the onions. I've got, these haven't sprouted yet. This is alpine strawberries. It's the first time I've ever tried to grow strawberries from seed. But, you know, it's been 3 or 4 days. You can see one of the seeds right here, the little red coated seed. And, it's the, what do you call it? This is a food storage container, and all I'm doing is using it for a humidity dome. And there seems to be enough soil in there, and then I put the sponge in for wicking. At the same time I started this, it was like 3 or 4 days ago. Let's see, I took ginger root and bought a ginger root at the store and soaked it for 24 hours and then put it in the soil. And let's see, that one or this one. There it is. Can you see the tiny little roots already started on it? There's a lot of things where we can get our, you know, buy it to eat and then regrow it. And I kind of like things that work out that way too. But I don't buy anything like that that's not organic, you know, to regrow if I can help it. Pretty soon, this, what do you call it, today, as far as moon gardening goes too, the new moon was 2 days ago, so, you know, moon gardening, as I explained before, is more of a science where people used to think it was superstition, and it's basically using gravity, the pull between the moon and the sun to affect water and roots and leaves on the plants. And right now is the perfect time to be planting leaf seeds, and then in a week it'll be tomatoes, you know, fruiting seeds. So today I'll get all my seeds planted, and I guess, you know, do you want a little bit of a look in my window before I let you go? Potatoes that the last week of July I pulled them, put them in there, and I've already transplanted them out of the black grow bags that I made myself, because the roots were coming out the sides, and you don't really want that for potatoes. And then over here, some of my greens are growing. And then this is a mung bean, and that's basil. And then my cranberry beans are already, they're ready to start drying out, and pretty soon harvest them. They're turning out just like the ones that I had in the ground. These are growing in 100% water, and I thought that was amazing. The avocado plant is doing, or avocado tree. Let's see, I hope I didn't mess that up. There's the mung bean, or cranberry bean, avocado plant, the pineapple. In here I've got corn that's probably 6-7 years old, and we brought it in and it was not kept in optimal conditions. Then you could still pop it, but it came out kind of stale tasting. I'm experimenting to see if it'll grow, you know, after being tortured for all them years. And then the yacon is doing really good. It had babies. There's 1, 2, 3. And then cranberry beans fell off the shelf, and I got 2 new ones. And this poor yacon bends over backwards to get into the window. The stevia plant was hit by frost and it's bouncing back and doing good. And then, let's see, these are strawberry seeds that I took out of a strawberry that was really good. We finally got some good ones. And I'm going to try growing some, you know, they're F1 hybrids, but I'm going to give it a shot. But I guess I'll let you go for now. Thanks for watching. This is E, the empty nester, saying, give it a shot, you know, have a good day. Bye. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, what are we going to put here, Silk? How about some onions? Don't eat my pen. Does onion sound good? Hey, no. See how hard it is to plant your veggies with a cat? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just putting one in each hole. Is that okay with you? Just poking the soil down. Put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Can't believe how tiny these things are. It's way too many. 8, 9. Hey, I need that to remember what it is. Are you gonna eat the onions now?